yo, Beyonce is doing her own solo album, and I had an opportunity to get on it, and I jumped on.
It was crazy to know that, like, I mean, she was in a group of girls who I really liked at the time too. I was like, yo, them hot.
In August 2003, nearly 50 million people watched Beyoncé perform Baby Boy solo at the VMAs, while Sean Paul sat in the audience, humiliated, as Paris Hilton turned to him and asked, "Why aren't you up there?" It wasn't a joke. It was a public spotlight on something already boiling behind the scenes. Just hours before showtime, Sean Paul had been quietly pulled from the performance without explanation, despite the song being #1 and rehearsals already locked in. Back in Jamaica, headlines exploded, media outlets pointed fingers at Jay-Z, and rumors of jealousy spread fast. Sean later told the Daily Beast, "It was embarrassing and weird. I'm sitting there with my wife, Beyoncé's performing our song, and I'm not up there." The very next day, he was promised redemption, an elite Washington, D.C. performance in front of thousands of industry power players and political elites. But after waiting backstage for hours, no one came to get him. When they finally tried to rush him on stage as an afterthought, he refused. "There were 50 million people watching the VMAs," he said. "I'm not doing it." He walked out. That was his breaking point. But for Beyoncé's team, it was just the beginning. What followed wasn't a scheduling error. It was the first domino in what became a 2-decade blackout. Months later, during a live show in Scotland, Sean Paul's mic mysteriously cut out mid-performance. No warning, no explanation, while Beyoncé's vocals looped on without him. After the show, she was furious, but not at the sound crew. She pulled him aside and, according to his own account, demanded to know who was spreading rumors that their chemistry extended beyond music. He told her straight, "It's not coming from me."
We know it's crazy rumors. I'm sitting here talking to you. So she was like, rumors follow me at this time a lot. And
After that, their chemistry vanished from public view. Despite Baby Boy dominating the charts for 9 straight weeks at #1, Beyoncé and Sean Paul performed it live together only 3 times. 3 for a song that iconic. And each of those performances faced behind-the-scenes chaos, technical issues, sudden setlist changes, and tension so thick between their teams you could feel it. This wasn't creative friction, it was political. And if Jay-Z wasn't even at the VMAs that night, the question remains. Who gave the order to erase Sean Paul from the stage? And why has Beyoncé never addressed it? For years, fans pointed the blame at Jay-Z. The timing was too convenient. Beyoncé was rising fast, her relationship with Jay-Z taking shape, and Sean Paul, a global chart topper and heartthrob, was suddenly iced out. But when asked directly, Sean Paul surprised everyone. He said it might not have been Jay-Z at all. Maybe it had something to do with her management at the time. And just like that, the focus shifted, raising even deeper questions about who was really pulling the strings behind the scenes.
How do you know I'm not a gangster? Or used to be a gangster? I've been in the music industry for 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, the industry's filled with gangsters.
Let's talk about her management at the time, a phrase that sounds simple but carries a lot of weight. Insiders have described Beyoncé's early solo career as a tightly controlled battlefield, contracts guarded like state secrets, image micromanaged down to every pose, and interviews filtered through layers of approval. The team surrounding her, many of them family, had a reputation for pushing out anyone who got too close or tried to share the spotlight. That same team oversaw the Baby Boy music video, another puzzling chapter. Despite being a duet built on chemistry, Beyoncé and Sean Paul never appear together in a single frame. The entire video was pieced together from separate shoots, a strange creative decision for such a massive hit. Sean Paul later tried to smooth it over, calling it her vision, but when pressed in another interview about whether it was his idea to film a part, his answer was blunt. "No, I thought we were going to be in scenes together." And with that one line, the mystery only deepened.
For itself, #1, 9 weeks on the Billboard chart. It's one of my biggest songs. At the time, it was like, the biggest thing I've ever...
Things took an unexpected turn, and 2021, when Jamaican radio host Wesley Berger dropped a quiet but powerful revelation on 2 Live Crew radio. He claimed what fans had whispered for years, that Jay-Z didn't want Sean Paul anywhere near Beyoncé during the Baby Boy era. And when Sean Paul was asked about it, he didn't deny a thing. "Yeah, to me that was something that was apparent at the time," he admitted. That single line reignited 2 decades of speculation. Were these just PR decisions gone wrong? Or was there a deliberate effort to erase him from Beyoncé's breakout era? What's undeniable is that their collaboration froze in time almost immediately after its peak. The silence, the distance, the sudden blackout, it all felt too orchestrated. And as the years passed, the rumors only evolved. Some even claimed a deeper secret was being buried, one that, if true, would rewrite everything fans thought they knew. Whether truth or myth, the pattern of erasure still raises one haunting question. If this was all professional miscommunication, why did the sabotage keep happening?
Some people are actually accusing her of wearing a fake baby bump.
You know, there are certain things that are so far that it doesn't even upset you. My mother, she's like, nobody's talking about my grandbaby. My grandbaby's not even here.
At the height of the rumors, things reached a boiling point. Backstage at the 2003 MTV Europe Music Awards, Beyoncé reportedly confronted Sean Paul face-to-face, furious, demanding to know who was fueling the gossip about their relationship. "These rumors with my career," she snapped. It wasn't just frustration. It sounded like a warning. Sean Paul, however, stood firm, insisting he wasn't the source. Still, the whispers only grew louder. Years later, when Beyoncé announced her pregnancy with Blue Ivy at the 2011 VMAs, conspiracy blogs reignited, dissecting every photo, every interview, from the infamous fabric fold to timeline inconsistencies, claiming something wasn't adding up. Some even linked it back to the long-buried Baby Boy saga, suggesting what fans once saw as PR control might have been something deeper. Fast forward to now, Sean Paul's recent interviews are bringing those memories roaring back, sharper and more revealing than ever. So the questions resurface. What really happened in 2003? Why was one of the decade's biggest collaborations suddenly buried? And if Jay-Z wasn't behind the erasure, as Sean Paul insists, then who was? Because after all these years, one mystery remains. Why has Beyoncé never spoken about it?
Big up to Beyonce. She told me to that, rumors follow her and thing, and
The VMA snub didn't just spark outrage, it ignited one of the internet's earliest and wildest conspiracies. In the weeks after that 2003 broadcast, underground forums and gossip blogs began dissecting every detail of the Baby Boy era. Why was Sean Paul missing from the biggest stage of the year? Why did the music video show Beyoncé and Sean Paul in separate shots, never once sharing the screen? What seemed like creative direction suddenly looked like deliberate distance. Then came the whispers. Was she hiding something bigger? Rumors of a secret pregnancy tied to the Baby Boy timeline started spreading like wildfire. Not because of proof, but because of the silence. No clear answers, no public denial, and no explanation from Beyoncé's camp. That vacuum of information fueled the fire, and what began as a performance snub soon transformed into one of pop culture's most enduring mysteries.
Why did you decide to announce to the world that you were having a baby in that way?
News that's that big, it's hard to hide and keep to yourself.
Were you surprised at the reaction, or you must have been tickled at the reaction because everybody was so thrilled for you?
I felt so liberated, and I felt like, I can breathe and be happy. And
Sean Paul didn't exactly help quiet the rumors either. In a 2022 interview, he said the decision to film the Baby Boy video separately was probably Beyoncé's creative choice. But here's where it gets confusing. If that was just her vision, then why did the same separation happen again on the biggest stage in music? No joint VMA performance, no Grammys duet, no tour appearances, nothing. Just 3 live performances in total for a song that ruled the charts for 9 straight weeks. That's not coincidence, that's control. Then, during a 2021 interview on Radio Jamaica, host Wesley Berger revisited the now infamous theory that Jay-Z didn't want Sean Paul anywhere near Beyoncé. Instead of denying it, Sean admitted, "Yeah, to me, that was something apparent at the time." he quickly tried to walk it back, insisting nothing ever happened. But the contradiction was already out there. If there really was nothing to hide, why did her team go to such great lengths to keep them apart?
I can only say as a father that I hope I instill with them the values that they would want to look for in a man. And I think I did when Beyoncé wrote on her, I think it was her first album, maybe it was the second one, the song Daddy, that she hoped that she found someone just like her.
Here's where things take a turn most people have never heard: the legal and management side. Back in 2003, when the VMA fallout happened, Beyoncé was under the tight control of a management circle led by her father, Matthew Knowles, a team that would later face its own wave of controversy. Her eventual split from that group was anything but smooth, with reports of power struggles, creative clashes, and years of behind-the-scenes tension. Yet to this day, no one from that 2003 team has stepped forward to claim responsibility for the VMA cancellation. No statement, no explanation, nothing. And while the public fixated on Jay-Z as the supposed puppet master, Sean Paul's own words have always pointed elsewhere: her management. At first, it sounded like a deflection, but the more you look into it, the clearer the pattern becomes. That early team was notorious for running Beyoncé's brand like a fortress, every move calculated, every appearance vetted, every collaborator evaluated for risk. By the time Baby Boy hit #1, that management style had evolved into total image control. Nothing happened without approval, and loyalty came before creativity. In that world, keeping Sean Paul out of the spotlight might not have been personal. It was strategic. Some insiders even claimed the VMA snub wasn't just about him at all. It was a test, a way to prove Beyoncé's loyalty and lock in her alignment with Jay-Z's rising empire. If that's true, then what happened that night wasn't a coincidence. It was a message.
I know so much on how you got where you are, how you stepped on many people.
That kind of behind-the-scenes maneuvering wouldn't be surprising for a team that would later face public scrutiny of its own. Beyoncé's professional split from her father in 2011 wasn't some quiet change in management. It was a public unraveling. Statements flew, reports of financial disputes surfaced, and even though both sides later spoke of mutual respect, one truth became impossible to ignore: the control her early team had was total. Which raises a powerful question. If they could cut out her own father, how hard would it have been to sideline an outside collaborator like Sean Paul? If her management really was calling the shots in 2003, what else did they bury? And why did Beyoncé let them? Was she simply trusting the people who'd built her career from childhood, or was she making a calculated move to protect something much more personal? In an industry obsessed with image control, truth often gets buried beneath the version we're meant to see. Sean has consistently dismissed the affair rumors, but the internet never let go. Because one fact stood above all the noise: 50 million people watched that night as Beyoncé performed Baby Boy alone. Sean Paul wasn't on stage. He was in the crowd. It wasn't gossip or rumor. It was right there, live, undeniable. And to millions watching, that moment wasn't just a snub. It was the first breadcrumb in a much bigger mystery.
And that's the problem that I have with this whole situation. But I am going to save this conversation for Jay-Z. Jay-Z, you're watching. I know you're watching because you got people calling me. Stop having people call me. You can call me yourself. You know how to get my number. You know you got people calling me. Call me yourself, because this right here is going to go viral. The way my job works on the internet, everybody's going to be clipping, sharing on TikTok. Watch this.
By 2022, almost 20 years after that infamous VMA moment, Sean Paul was still being asked about it. In one interview, he laughed off the idea of a secret child as crazy, yet the rumor just wouldn't die. And honestly, it's not hard to see why. Beyoncé has never addressed it. No statement, no interview, no acknowledgement of what really happened that night. Jay-Z has stayed silent too. Then, When Beyoncé's mother later admitted her daughter used wardrobe tricks to hide her pregnancy with Blue Ivy in 2011, it reignited the question, what else had been hidden before? If there was truly nothing behind the baby boy fallout, why has no one from her 2003 team ever explained who gave the order to pull Sean Paul from the stage? By 2024, online forums had taken the theory to a new level, connecting dots between that early era and the emotional core of Beyoncé's Lemonade album. Themes of secrecy, jealousy, and betrayal suddenly looked less like performance and more like confession. A bold theory emerged. Maybe Jay-Z's so-called jealousy wasn't romantic insecurity at all, but image protection, covering up something that had already happened long before their power couple era began. It sounds wild, but it explains everything. The separate shoots, the canceled performances, the awkward tension, and the total erasure of Sean Paul from her breakout moment. And when you realize every other male collaborator, Usher, Slim Thug, Shakira, shared the stage with her freely, it begs the question no one has ever answered. Why was Sean Paul treated like a threat?
Still. And then you have celebrities like a Jay-Z. And this is where I think the whole fallout with the Beyoncé, she's just kind of in the crosshairs because of all of what's going on in the media with respect to Jay-Z and stuff. But with Jay, you know, when he complained at the Grammys about the Grammys not giving Beyoncé Artist of the Year, when she's the most decorated Grammy-winning artist ever, we invited him to be honored at our award show.
And then there's the question of timelines. Beyoncé's first pregnancy wasn't revealed until the 2011 VMAs. A perfectly staged, choreographed announcement that instantly made headlines. But just before that reveal, eagle-eyed fans noticed something strange. Behind-the-scenes footage and interview clips didn't seem to match the timeline she'd shared. The math didn't add up, and in those online conversations, the old baby boy rumors quietly resurfaced. Was Blue Ivy really her first child, or simply the first she chose to introduce to the world? Now, to be clear, there's never been hard proof of any hidden child, but that hasn't stopped the internet from digging deep. Entire investigative threads, time-stamped interviews, and lyric breakdowns have kept this mystery alive for 2 decades. The real question isn't just if something happened, it's why so much effort was spent making sure we never saw it. 20 years later, one fact remains. Someone made the call to erase Sean Paul from Beyoncé's biggest solo debut, and no one has ever taken responsibility. So what do you think? Was that VMA snub just a petty power play, or the first visible crack in a carefully engineered public image? Drop your thoughts below, because in Hollywood, the truth always finds a way to surface.